I wanted to take some time to show how using several tools within SmartScout has enabled us to land a brand direct account selling with Amazon FBA for a potential six-figure profit brand. It's really exciting. And so I thought I would share kind of the steps that we took and the tools within SmartScout that we used to make it happen. So first off, we use SmartScout just to do brand research to find out brands in our niches or subcategories that we are interested in, or that we feel may be a good fit, that we have a high likelihood of being able to partner with. And we have a virtual assistant that works with us for our company, where most of what she does with her job is using SmartScout on a daily basis, doing brand research, brand and supplier outreach, and so on. And so I wanted to go through that first to show you what that initial process looks like. So in SmartScout, what we use most often is probably this brands tool right here. So just to show you what is possible here, if you're trying to establish a wholesale or brand direct relationship on Amazon and you're a brand new seller, even a small seller, even a seven-figure seller, you're not going to land these types of accounts. You're not going to get a wholesale account with Apple, Samsung, HP, etc. And so that's where these filters come in here, and where kind of learning how to dial those in a way that is relevant to where you are at in your business can be really beneficial. So first off, if you are a smaller operation, you probably don't want to exceed brands that are maybe doing more than $100,000, $150,000 in revenue monthly. And so let's say we want to make that as our cap, because someone that's doing $340 million a month, you have no shot at ever opening an account like that, right? And so we want to start where it's more realistic for where you are at in your current business. The other thing we might want to look for is, do they already have a relationship with multiple sellers? And so you could start with, eliminating anyone that only has one seller, because that's typically going to be a private label company, or they already have an exclusive relationship with one single supplier. And that's not to say you can't ever find those or break into those and make them work. But just starting out at the beginning, maybe we want to start with a minimum of 3 FBA sellers. Let's look at Amazon on the listing. Maybe we don't want Amazon to be in stock on the listing more than 50% of the time. And let's see, average rating. I'll typically always want to look for something that has a 4.0 or higher. If it's lower than that, you risk selling products or products from a brand that face a high return rate or have some negative reviews, and you're going to have to eat the cost of that, the margin on that. And so let's just apply. So we're starting with 611,000 brands. And with these filters, we've narrowed it down to 5,822. And monthly revenue is going to start from high to low here, so just shy of $150,000 monthly revenue as the latest estimate, and go down from there. And so you can dial these filters in however you want. You can also dive in by specific category if you wish. And so I think that was also on that first homepage. And let's say that you already have a really high knowledge base in the tools and home improvement category, and maybe that's where you worked with your regular 9 to 5 job, and you just know a lot about that, and so you want to work with something that you're familiar with. You can dial into any niche or subcategory and then apply those exact same filters. Like wrenches, $16 million a month just in brands selling wrenches, right? And so let's say I want to look up all the brands that are selling torque wrenches, and then we can do the exact same thing. Apply those exact same filters to find what fits within what makes sense for where you are at in your business. So that was the first step, was just kind of finding some brands to reach out to, and that's what our virtual assistant does and did. And just to kind of show you what happened from there, want to go ahead and share this. And so I'm going to show you the timeline, which started in February of this year. And let me go ahead and view the slideshow. And so we ended up getting a response to an online form inquiry that our virtual assistant had submitted. Hey, thanks for the inquiry. Complete the form below. Once complete, we can discuss setting up an account. And so that's always a positive sign. Typically, you have a very low response rate if it's submitted through an online form. And so that's always a positive just to even get started there. And so yeah, I wanted to follow up on our previous correspondence. We've had a very high volume month managing our current lines, specifically our work with blank, where we are currently moving $50,000 a month in the blank category, which was a similar category to this brand that we had reached out to. I have just completed the merchant account form you sent over. Given our success and existing infrastructure in the household repair and maintenance niche, I'm confident we can replicate that scale with your brand. I look forward to discussing how we can establish a successful partnership. And we almost immediately got a response back saying, thank you for the inquiry, but hey, back in 2023, we made the decision to limit e-commerce third-party sellers to only 3 sellers, allowing us to control the brand's integrity and maximize sales. I can add you to the waiting list should any of our current sellers choose to leave the program or not meet the terms of the agreement. Thanks. And so this was in response to that online forum. I was honest and said that, like, hey, we are an e-commerce based business. We do not have a physical storefront. We are looking to partner to grow your brand's presence with online sales. And you know, the moment a lot of people hear Amazon, a lot of times they run away. There could be a variety of reasons for that. Maybe the brand manages it themselves. Maybe they already are in a situation like this where they have a handful of suppliers that they already have a relationship with, or maybe they just don't want to deal with it at all because they're tired of trying to manage it. And that's where you can come in and offer your services to help clean up the kind of the chaos and show what you can offer to the brand to take some stuff off their plate. Now, a lot of sellers will quit when they get to this point right here. When they get that rejection, they'll just give up, mark it as a no, and move on. But instead, what I started doing a whole lot more, and I think we've been getting better at over time, is still offering like a kind of like a casual, like, hey, thank you so much for your time, we really appreciate it. Is it okay if I follow up with you again in a few months? Or just kind of giving like a last second effort. And so what I ended up saying is, I completely understand, respect the decision to maintain a tight roster of third-party sellers. It's a smart move for brand integrity, one we see often with the other premium brands we carry. Please do add our business to the waiting list. Given our current $50,000 a month spend volume in this same category, we are well versed in maintaining strict minimum advertised pricing compliance and high-level inventory management. If you ever find that a current seller isn't meeting their volume commitments, or if you're looking for a partner with deep experience in the household repair niche, I'd love to be your first call. I'll check back in with you in a few months to see if any openings have surfaced. And I'll be honest, at this point, I did kind of write it off. I just wanted to always be cordial, be respectful. I would mark it down as like a follow-up for 3 to 6 months from now, just to check back in. And that was that. And that's kind of where I assumed this would go. Now, I did, as you can see, want to flex that we already were selling in that same category. I was giving realistic numbers of what we are already spending or have spent in that same category with other brand or distribution partners, which can't hurt. And this is where it will be tailored to your business and where you are at in your journey. And surprisingly, we ended up getting a response back 1 hour later. Hi, Seth. We would possibly be open to it depending on what products you are interested in. We also have a new product that recently came out and would be open to possibly letting you take that one on. But let me know what products you are interested in and we can go from there. And so, man, like, that was an unexpected reply. That's great. And so I then wrote this back in response. I said, hey, that's great to hear. We're definitely interested in supporting new product launches. That's where our experience really shines. Regarding specific products, we are most interested in blank and blank. These are a perfect cross-sell for our current customers who are presently buying blank. The new product launch, I'd love to see the specs or a deck on the new product release. We have the marketing infrastructure to give a new SKU significant visibility and day one momentum on Amazon. Now, at this point, this is where I went a lot deeper into the brand data in SmartScout, and I leveraged that to strengthen the relationship further. And so here, and I'm going to go into that here in a few minutes, showing you what kind of data I pulled for the brand. And I said, in reviewing the current brand presence, I noted that while you have a great branded storefront, there is a significant hidden revenue being left on the table. Currently, only 9 of your 50 products are actively being offered. And in reality, there was more than that being offered. SmartScout didn't catch all of them that were technically that brand's products. But upon my initial search, I had only pulled up 9. And when I went to the brand's website, I saw that they had a lot more than that. And I said, we would love to help you fill the gap on listings that currently have no active sellers, such as blank and blank, giving specific examples. And for those with current active sellers, we would potentially be interested in blank. But again, our goal isn't to just take a piece of the existing pie from your current 3 sellers. We want to make the pie bigger by revitalizing your inactive catalog and capturing the demand that is currently going to your competitors, or by helping bring additional products to the online marketplace. Could you send over a wholesale price list or a product catalog? Once I see the full range and the details of the new release, I'll put together a formal opening order proposal that scales your total brand volume. Now, this is a really key point and a big differentiator that can help you stand out versus other competitors out there that might also be reaching out to brands. And there's, fielding sometimes dozens of emails a day, every single day, of people trying to do the same thing. Everyone only wants to sell what is already successful. What made us stand out, and they told me this, was that I was offering to take on risks myself financially to help grow the brand's total revenue share. And so making that pie bigger can be a really powerful analogy if you really mean it and are intent on doing so, which we definitely were. And I saw the potential that this brand could have. And got a response back. We do have a few items that are currently reserved for our existing Amazon partners, but we have a strong lineup of products that would be open for you to carry. Here are some of the available options. The top one, they said, is that new product, which is performing well in retail stores currently. And that's by far the one I was most excited about. And they said, happy to walk through which products would make the most sense for your storefront and help you build out a strong assortment. I've also attached the technical data sheet for the new product and will get you pricing shortly. And so at that point, I went all in. I did a huge deep dive. I ended up creating a massive Google Sheets spreadsheet where I could list every single product that they had online. I showed every single seller that was selling their products, those that were authorized or unauthorized, and how we could come in and fill that gap of removing unauthorized sellers and a whole bunch of other stuff that maybe they didn't even realize was impacting their brand's image online. And I asked if I could get on a meeting. And so I ended up having a phone call with their sales manager from the brand, and ended up doing a video call at a later time. And after that, ended up being invited to get on a formal call with the company owner as well. And so I put together a brand partner proposal using, just kind of going over what our business does, what our company does, what we can offer to the brand. But beyond that, I wanted to then show specific data that I pulled from SmartScout in particular that helped seal the deal and show what we could offer to this brand. And so I'll skip through all of what we offer and kind of skip ahead here. And so some of the tools that we showed from SmartScout, and actually let me back out real quick and go through those. So we have a couple things. So we have the AI Visibility Monitor, the Amazon AI Scorecard, the brand report, and the AI listing architect. And so really what I wanted to show is I pulled up a handful of listings from this brand currently and showed, actually let me go back to the presentation here and just show it to you there. So I showed the AI visibility rate, and I wanted to show them how visible the brand was currently performing versus other competitors. So it was really cool being able to pull that data from within SmartScout. And I pulled up a handful of their products. One of them was like a fabric cleaning carpet upholstery type product, and showed what people are searching using AI, like ChatGPT, Claude Gemini, that is then returning results, and how they were a very very small percentage. Like most of their listings were not optimized for AI search, which is a huge thing right now. Like SEO is very strongly transitioning to kind of an AI SEO and what the AI chat agents are recommending. And so, how do you make sure your brand is visible with that? Then we have the brand scorecard where you can pull up specific listings, and SmartScout will give a grade and then give you specific reasons why it scored as well or unwell as it did, right? And this particular listing that I pulled up had a D rating, and it gave specific reasons. This one was for some kind of degreaser, and it gave specific reasons why the listing was not performing well, or simple improvements that could be made to help the listing perform better. And so again, really, really cool. And then I also wanted to show SmartScout's AI listing architect tool and how you can use SmartScout like some other tools that are out there to help create new listings or optimize existing listings with targeted keywords that are relevant to that listing or are currently returning positive organic search results. And then same thing, just kind of show product ranks of other products in that same niche and subcategory. And so I really just wanted to emphasize the level of data that we had access to, that we could rely upon to make this brand's listings perform better than they currently were. And then lastly, I also showed the brand's brand report showing what their current revenue is, what their market share is, what categories they are currently competing in. And one weird quirk with this is if there are multiple brands that have the same name, some of it can get commingled. Like this one, for example, pulled up some workplace first aid kits, and that ended up not being relevant to this particular brand, but the rest of the data was accurate. And so just something to be aware of, that there are a couple of quirks out there. But I was also able to show this brand's top product versus who their top competitor is, and who was winning where and why, what keywords were people searching that was getting the sales for these products, and just showing that, like, hey, we have visibility to this and can really tackle this head on for you. And so that brings us to now. Like, where are we today? And so, as you can see, this process started back in February. We ended up placing our first pallet order in the back half of May, and our first products went live, I think, on May 23rd, if I remember, somewhere around there. And it's been a really exciting launch so far. Before we ended up purchasing that pallet, we did go ahead and optimize this brand new listing. We created new listing images and A+ content, optimized the keywords and descriptions, all that fun stuff. And just to kind of show where we are 1 month later after launch, we're having kind of a mind-blowing, tremendous start. And so some things I want to show over here is we are... if we have no ad spend, like if it's just after prep fees, inbound shipping, etc., we have close to an $11 profit, 155% return on investment on this product, which is retailing for $29.99. And our buy cost ended up being quite a bit higher than I initially estimated. And so I did price the listing higher than I had originally intended. But I did do kind of brand research from other competitors that were listing similar products to see where they were pricing theirs at, where did I think I could still be competitive. And competitors were listing their products anywhere between $20 and $40. So I wanted to test it at the $29.99 starting point with the brand's blessing, which they gave. And just yesterday, a day or two ago, we got this 100 plus bought in the past month badge, which is really cool. This bestsellers rank on Amazon in the health and household category. We are already near the top of the top 2% of all health and household products sold, and we should be breaking into the top 1% very, very soon, which I'm really excited at. And just to kind of show you what we did, so we got our first sale, like I said, on May 23rd. And so I think after 31 or 32 days, we had 172 orders. And that's orders, not units. Some orders had 2 units sold or 3 units sold within the same transaction. And as a result of that, I also suggested to the brand, hey, I think we could create some variation listings or some additional product offerings for customers that want a larger supply of this particular product. And now that is also in pre-production, and we will be launching an additional variation to this new listing in the coming weeks, which I'm really excited about as well. And now, for full transparency, of these 172 orders, 29 of those were claimed through something called Amazon Vine. Amazon Vine is a program that Amazon offers sellers where you can give away up to 30 of your products for free for Amazon Vine reviewers to give honest reviews of the product. And really, the more reviews you get, especially early on, it can help your listing grow, get visibility much faster. And so far, 29 of those 30 units had been claimed, and we have received 18 reviews with a 4.6 star rating, which I'm really happy about. With the exception of one 3-star review, the rest have been 4 and 5 stars, and all of the 4-star reviews have been also glowing comments, which is great. And the 3-star review, I believe, was user error because they didn't. I don't believe they followed the instructions of the product based off of what they said. So either way, I'm very happy with that kind of momentum with really only a month into this. And so, yeah, we're approaching 200 units sold now within our first month. Which I'm really excited about. Now, full transparency again. Over the last 15 days, we did also start incorporating a small amount of advertising spend just to push some additional search volume to this product. We stayed very, very light at only $30 a day. And so our true profit is not going to be this $11 a unit this first month. It might be closer to like $7 or $8. But I wanted to show what is potential. This is something else. This is not the brand's product, but they have some other products that they manufacture that they white label for other companies. And I put together just a handful of other high-performing alternate products sold on Amazon and showed the monthly sold volume. Said, hey, if you're ever interested in creating this type of product or this type of product or this type of product, this is the demand that is out there on Amazon currently. And I think there could be some big potential long-term down the road if you are ever interested in exploring that. And so, where does that leave us right now? Now, this is just one listing. We have now optimized or created 8 listings for this brand. And so we just have units of the other 7 the other 7 ASINs on its way into Amazon right now. But again, I'm really excited about this first one, which is having a stellar launch, and some of the competing products get as high as 1,000, 2,000 plus sales a month. And so I wanted to see, like, what is the current trajectory, where are we based off of how we're currently performing with what could be possible down the road. And so I did some AI analysis, and it was giving us July projections of anywhere from 350 to 500 units if we maintain our current advertising spending and if we maintain the current review threshold, etc. And so it remains to be seen if that will happen, but that would be, very, very exciting. And it's saying our blended profit mix after advertising will slowly get higher and higher each month as the listing continues to mature. Again, remains to be seen, but really excited at the fact that just one of these listings from this brand could potentially generate anywhere from $3,000 to $4,500 a month in net profit after all expenses. Then it gave a little bit of analysis about why that profit was jumping up, and I said, hey, what's the potential on this current trajectory over 3 months, 6 months, or at listing maturity? And again, remains to be seen. This is all just hypotheticals right now, but if your listing successfully holds this current momentum, you're looking at transitioning from a promising side hustle volume into a serious, heavy-hitting brand asset. And so it's saying 3 months out, we could be as high as 700 units a month, 21,000 in gross monthly revenue, close to 7 grand net profit. 6 months out could be above 1,100 units a month, 33,000 gross monthly revenue, $11,000 estimated monthly net profit. And then a year to a year and a half out, 2,000 sales a month. It's saying that we would want to increase our advertising budget from $900 a month to $1,500 a month at this point. Gross monthly revenue, $60,000. Estimated monthly net profit, $20,000. Now, again, this is still all very, very early stages. Remains to be seen what can be possible long term. But I mean, this is, again, just one of the 8 current products we are currently selling or optimizing or launching for this brand, with hopefully even more on the way. Just wanted to show the profit potential that is there when you kind of go about Amazon FBA in this way. And I was able to do it all through this tool right here with SmartScout and all of the kind of comprehensive data analytics tools that SmartScout provides. Going through that, plus some salesmanship, is what was able to push us over the edge, show our value to the brand, and it's been a wonderful working relationship so far. So thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Stay tuned to see how things progress over time. And if you're interested in trying out SmartScout for yourself, we do have a coupon code for 35% off for 4 months, plus a 14-day free trial. And if you're interested in learning more about starting your own Amazon business, your own online side hustle, go check out FBAPlusAcademy.com or follow us on social media at FBA Plus. Thanks for watching.